Hey there, it's Sandra from Conversion Minded, and today I have 5 content ideas for what you can share on social media. I know a lot of people struggle with this. Like, you sit down, you want to post something, and then you can't think of anything. Writer's block hits in a major way, and you don't have time to brainstorm. So you wind up pushing it off till later, and then later never comes, and you're not active on social media. So it's just this kind of vicious cycle. And then what happens is maybe you even Google what to share, and you come up with this laundry list of ideas. Maybe you've even downloaded my content ideas, my social media cheat sheet. And sometimes I think that those can be even more overwhelming, because when you see like 80 ideas of what you can share, suddenly it becomes too much. So I thought that maybe I would break this down into buckets, content buckets, because that's the way I like to look at things. If I can put them in a bucket, then I can organize my head and kind of start brainstorming, even in between when I want to post something, about what might be good for me. And you can do the same thing. So maybe this will be helpful for you. When you see those big, long lists of ideas of what you can share, you can put them in one of these buckets, and that might be helpful for you. So the first one I have is share your blog post. That's number 1. If you're blogging, if you're creating videos, the regular content that you're creating weekly definitely is something that you want to be sharing. And if you've seen my repurposing video, then you know that you should be sharing that in multiple places and definitely repurposing that into many different content types so that you can reach a broader audience. So your weekly or bi-weekly blog posts and videos are definitely things that you can share on social media, and you want to be creating multiple images, multiple stories, multiple pins for them so that you can be driving as much traffic as possible. When it comes to pins, I like to create anywhere from 3 to 6, and in fact I do the same thing on Instagram and stories. I really think that having some fresh graphics breathes new life into your content, and it just looks new, so people don't feel like even when you're kind of recycling your content, it doesn't look like people are saying the same thing. The second thing that you can share is engaging posts. Now, engaging posts are posts that generally just spark conversation, they get people engaging, they get them commenting. And I think a lot of things come under this. You can post quotables, you can post questions, anything behind the scenes. And behind the scenes is really a loose thing. Like, you don't have to show you working, especially if you have kind of a boring gig. It's not going to be that fun to show people you just sitting at your, laptop typing something. But you can certainly share about you and your story and what you're up to. Like, if you go on a trip, share your trips. Let people get to know you. Ask them if they've been on that trip too, or if they've been on a recent trip. Those are all types of engaging posts. They really do work well to get comments and things like that. And the social media platforms, especially Instagram, likes those comments. It works toward giving you a better score. So you definitely do want to be sharing engaging posts that get people kind of talking. You can ask them a question. You can ask them a question relevant to your niche and your industry, or you can ask them a question, general question. Do you like to run or go to yoga? CrossFit or hiking? Things like that. All of that falls under engaging. When you see these lists of what you can share, and you see a lot of these that I just mentioned, think of those as just engaging posts. Number 3, and I'm separating this one out on purpose, I call it educational posts. I think it's a really good idea to just create some posts that inform, that give helpful tips, that share something that maybe just happened, some kind of trending news that's relevant to your niche. I like to categorize those separately because I think that they are closely related to engaging posts, but not quite the same. And if you lump them in the same bucket, then you might forget to get those educational ones in there. I think they position you as a leader and an expert, and I think that they're really, really great to always have them in your mix. The fourth thing is promotional posts. You definitely want to get that in there. You don't want to overdo it. And I think this is where it's striking a balance between how many promotional posts do you share, where you're just kind of giving a shout out about your company, your products, and your services. 20 to 30% of your posts should be promotional, but they don't have to be overtly promotional. You can definitely start an engaging post and end it with a call to action to book a call, to check out your product or service that helps people solve this problem that you brought up in that engaging post. So you don't necessarily have to say, buy my product all the time, and nor should you, right? You should be blending these different buckets a little bit and getting creative. Start your captions and your descriptions with establishing maybe something that you've learned or something that you've realized. Then maybe point to the problem, and then your call to action, your product, your service as the solution. You're still engaging and educating people, but you're doing it in a really kind of open and friendly and helpful way, that you're still providing a lot of value that people can get whether or not they decide to take that action. And the other thing that I want to bring up is I was sharing so many other types of posts that I forgot that I really should be promoting my company and my business on social media as well. So don't go the other side and forget all about promoting yourself. You should be promoting yourself. And you can do that in the form of client testimonials. You can do that in the form of sharing your own wins, something that you just learned or something that you were able to do, and share that and get people excited about the idea that they can do it too. So think about those ways. The fifth thing is that you can share other people's content. And this is a really great way to fill in with your own content and maybe even get started if you feel like you're not sure what to share or you don't have this kind of library of content to share yet. You can definitely get started. That's the way I started on Twitter. I just was retweeting all the time while I was building my own content, and then I started shifting the ratio of what I was sharing, other people's content to my own content. And you can certainly do that on Pinterest. You can do that on Instagram, as long as it's relevant to your audience. So those are the 5 different content buckets: blog posts, engaging posts, educational posts, promotional posts, and other people's content. Now, one thing I want to point out is that you should sit down at the beginning of every month and you should think about what you want to promote for the month, so that you're very clear that you want to promote 1 or 2 things. I wouldn't go crazy with what you want to promote, because then you'll be a little bit all over the place. But your posts, as you create your posts, they should kind of support that thing that you want to promote. Even your engaging posts, even your educational posts, they should kind of be having the same general theme as what you want to promote. And that way, when you're starting to write your captions and think about what you want to say on your posts, you will already know what you want to promote, and then you can kind of weave that in a natural, organic way. Create your evergreen campaigns and your organic posts to also help you drive those results. I hope that's been helpful for you. Subscribe to this channel if you want to hear more tips like this to help you grow your business. And I have free weekly social media planners in the description. Make sure you check that link so you can start planning your posts for Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn.